today on 2+U Nevada.
I feel like everybody throws out, we have deals. No, JaDA Loft Boutique, we do it big.
Monica Rios of JaDA Loft Boutique joins us earlier in the week than normal. That's because her special holiday deals start today. What you need to know about shopping small business for those hostess gifts and loved ones.
We've already done it, and it's all made right there at the shop with love, so just like you would do at home.
Whether it's a weeknight meal or your holiday feast, Butcher Boy Meat Market makes you look like Julia Child in the kitchen. Clint Jolly comes into the studio today to discuss the best cuts for you to consider. Plus,
my mom always said to me, the minute I looked at you, I knew you weren't a regular girl. You were the girl who had power to do something.
They knew you were destined to save the axolotl.
They didn't even know about axolotl, but they
right.
knew.
You know what I'm getting at.
They knew that I was gonna do something that would change the world, and they just knew it in my eyes.
watching 2+U Nevada. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Sarah Johns, your host. Are you ready for Thanksgiving? Well, if not, boy, do we have the show for you. We've got Butcher Boy here to talk about great cuts of meat and easy peasy ready-to-mades that you can find inside their shop. Plus fall fashions and holiday gift ideas with Monica from JaDA Loft Boutique, and the darling story of a first grader who is just a philanthropist in about this much. She is already changing the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this edition of 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. So excited to have Clint Jolly back joining us this afternoon. This time we're talking December holiday meals. And Clint, first and foremost, I got to tell you, after the last time we got together, I caught so much heat for not being able to slice into that meat very well.
That's right. You have your talents, I have mine.
That's very true. That's very true. And it's generational too. In fact, the photo behind you, it's your great-grandfather?
Yeah, third from the right behind the counter right there, George Jolly, my great-grandfather. He's the one that started my family in the butchering business in 1932 here in Reno.
That is so cool. And you said 1932, so this is generational. Your family's been in it now for almost 100 years.
Almost 100 years. We're 92 years right now, yeah.
That is insane. That's
wild, huh?
Yeah, super wild. But you guys have lasted this long because you know quality meat, you know quality cutting, and you provide such great food for folks in our community. And as we're getting prepared to be hosting all the people, you know, you guys are just a phenomenal place to turn to.
Absolutely. We try to make it easy, right? Whether it's a simple weeknight meal, we've got stuff in the case ready to go. We do all the prep, and you can lie to your friends and tell them you did it. That's fine. All the way up to Christmas dinner, prime ribs, prepped, ready to go, hams, all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of that, that's what you have behind us. We've got a beautiful ham, and we've got a beautiful prime rib.
Yep.
Now, the one thing that I found very interesting that you and I were just talking about before we started this interview is that spiral cut hams actually aren't the best cut because they dry out. Kind of go into that.
Yeah, so in our opinion, we've been making hams the old-fashioned way, generational recipe in their maple sugar cured. We don't like the spiral cut because basically you're slicing through the meat, and then when you throw that guy in the oven, it's going to dry out, right? So a spiral cut ham, if you buy something in a grocery store, usually they put a lot of glaze on there to add that moisture back. To us, that's just not a traditional ham. We'd rather go kind of the old school way, so we don't do the spiral cut.
The one thing that I have to say after learning about this too, that I don't necessarily like about spiral cuts is when you're attempting to cut a spiral cut, you get all these tiny little pieces instead of like a nice slice of ham.
Yeah.
And you're saying that it's much easier. Even you do bone in, but even with the bone in, it's super easy to cut.
Yeah, so we've got boneless if you don't want to worry about that. Like this guy right here, you can just slice right through that. If you want to do a bone in, it does have a little bit more flavor. Plus you get that bone to make beans afterwards. The leftovers I think are amazing. Ours, we take all the bones out except for one down the middle. So you can just take a knife right across the top, pull that off, pull the bone out, and then you got like two halves you can get nice slices out of. Super easy.
So in the month of December, before the big holidays, how much advance notice do you need if somebody wants to order a prime rib, if somebody wants a ham? How many days in advance do you need, or can people just stop on it?
Well, we always tell people order as soon as you know what you want, how many people you have coming, that sort of thing. To be honest, like a little bit behind the scenes, I've already ordered prime ribs for Christmas. If I didn't have them ordered in September, we wouldn't get them. So we never really run out, but we like people to call as soon as possible just to make sure that we've got one set aside for you.
Well, and then that's very important for you as a small business too, to also know that you have enough inventory for everybody who's going to be coming to you, right?
For sure, yeah.
And you mentioned it at the top of our interview, but I can't stress enough how amazing it is when you walk into Butcher Boy because, and he knows this, I am not adept in the kitchen. I'm not. And you and the folks behind the counter, they're amazing. And you have pre-done, I don't want to say pre-done meals because you still take them home, but you provide like the simple steps for people like me who aren't that awesome in the kitchen. You say, okay, this is what you do. You put it in the oven at this for this duration of time. And if you're hosting, if you're doing Christmas parties or any December holiday party, if you are hosting family in advance of the big feast day, you have meals that can make people pretty impressed with how you are in the kitchen.
For sure, yeah. And I won't even start to list them off, but then we've got 40, 50 different items in the shop that are, we call it all ready to cook. So chicken cordon bleus, meatloafs, kebabs, appetizer stuff, meal stuff, simple, quick stuff. Just, you don't have to put the time in. We've already done it and it's all made right there at the shop with love. So just like you would do at home.
And I do have to say the other cool thing too that people need to remember, stocking stuffers at Butcher Boy, because I was so impressed with the sauces that you have there. And you've got some amazing like food additions that people can put in, you know, and provide their loved ones for stocking stuffers.
For sure, yeah. Sauces, spices, all kind of accoutrement to go with everything that we sell. It's all about the meat, so everything we sell goes with the meats that we sell, as far as the seasoning sauces, marinades, all that.
And for anyone who has a small business, a nice reminder too, because I remember working for a company that provided us gift cards for Butcher Boy in advance of the holidays. And it's just phenomenal. A great idea for any business out there who wants to provide a nice thank you to any employee out there, that you guys are also a phenomenal resource during the holidays for sure. Employee appreciation gifts.
Yeah, gift cards. We have companies, local companies that we make hams for, prime ribs, turkeys, etc. Gift to their employees. Yeah.
And that's all just, yeah, so important around the holidays. Well, Clint, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Where do people go? Where are you located? Online and telephone.
Okay. Butcher Shop, Butcher Boy Meats is right on the corner of Plum and Arlington, 530 West Plum. Give us a call at 825-MEAT, 825-6328. Place your orders, ask questions, all that. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 6, and online, butcherboyreno.com. Has all kinds of good info, including, we're talking about cooking, all kinds of cooking recipes, tips, etc. So explore it.
Awesome. Clint, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You're watching 2+ Nevada. You are watching 2+ Nevada, and we are with Monica Rios, of course, our fashion expert here at JaDA Loft Boutique. And Monica, we are bringing it home. This is your first baby.
This is the first baby. Of course, I don't want to, because I know my son's sitting there going, what? Since when was I replaced? Yes, but
the first store baby.
The first store baby, our Northwest location on Robb Drive. And I'm so happy that you guys are here with me and in sharing what is the store.
This store is fabulous. I absolutely love it. For those who need to know, we're on Charlins, right across the street from Maverick and right next door to Starbucks, to kind of give people an idea of where you're at.
Yes.
And Monica, You were explaining to me that in the build-up to this store, your Instagram boards were crazy. And, what was going through your mind and what did you want the feeling and ambiance to be?
So the Pinterest boards, they were all over the place. There's a lot going on in the store. So we have, for those of you that have not been in, we have glitter wallpaper on every single wall. We've got stripes wallpaper. We have a bathtub with flowers, which you guys will have an opportunity to see here a little bit later. But putting this together was I'm going to use the word whimsical. I think it was just, I wanted for people to come in and it be an inviting environment, feminine, very glitz and glam, but also cozy and warm and inviting. And I hope that I was able to, I get that a lot from folks. So I think I was able to do
You
that.
absolutely were able to do that. Like when you walk in here, it's so fun. And again, this was the first store and it's so successful that now you've got your second store on South Virginia where
Yes.
we've been before. What is it that women and men who are looking for that elevated fashion, what is it that they will find here?
Literally everything you can think of. This store actually has more by way of home goods and accessories and gift giving items than our South location. So we've become the local, people will drop in really quick to pick something up for a coworker or, I'm in need of a quick gift. And so we've got a really wide selection of home goods and accessories. And then of course, everyday items for women, by way of clothing from just your everyday casual wear to evening and everything in between.
And you've been here 5 years. Can you believe you're going to be celebrating, when's the anniversary?
So December 12th is our 5-year anniversary. It's such a huge, momentous thing for us. Anybody that's a small business owner knows how hard it can be to own a business. We cannot be more ecstatic that we are coming on this huge date in a couple of weeks.
We're so excited too. And in advance of your 5-year anniversary, and of course, this is the week for shopping. Everybody starts to think about the holidays and what to shop. So actually starting today, you've got some pretty big campaigns.
We do. So because of the 5-year anniversary, we thought, all right, how are we going to do this? Go big or go home. So this is the first time we do this in all these years we've been in business. So starting today, we are running Black Friday all week, with the exception of obviously Thursday. Myself and my associates will be home with their families, but the rest of the week we have deals every single day, and deals that aren't just, I feel like everybody throws out, we have deals. No, JaDA Loft Boutique, we do it big, again. So go big, go home. We're going big. We're going big.
I think you said you're giving it away.
Yeah, I quite literally, I was like, come celebrate with me while I give the house away. It's what we want for our, it's what we want to do for our local community, and we want to celebrate our 5 years in a big way and have our community be a part of it.
Well, and you are so good to our community. Like, I can't get over what you did for Halloween, for the kids in the community, and now you're doing it around the holidays. And you said you're a small business. And of course, this Saturday is Small Business Saturday. We really want to support our small business owners because you are employing our friends and our neighbors, and you are keeping our local economy going. And with that, small business, it ain't easy.
No, it's not. We were talking about that right before we came on.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But honestly, this community makes me get up and want to do this every day. So that's why we continue to be here, and we appreciate the support and at both of our locations. And of course, our Northwest location and the community up this way has been absolutely amazing for the past almost 5 years. So I couldn't be more grateful also to our community.
And with that, again, the sale starts today. So if you are planning to go to meet a new family member, or if you are going to a Friendsgiving this week, if you're looking for any sort of hostess gift, this is also the place to come. There are phenomenal quick gifts. And Monica, you mentioned it. You gift wrap it, and people have been coming in already going,
Yes.
Help.
Yes. So we've seen actually this week, I'm going to say it kind of kicked off, last week kicked off people coming in, and a lot of the purchases being gift items that are, I need this quick. Can you throw this together? And we make it look really pretty, and we take all of the hassle out of your gift giving.
Well, Monica, thank you so much for having us.
you.
It's been
Thank
a
you for being
phenomenal 5 years for you.
It really has.
We're so excited. JaDA Loft Boutique is a phenomenal place to go shopping this week. Please shop small. You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm joined this afternoon by Logan Klonecke, NDOW's Hunter Education Coordinator. Of course, if you're sitting at home going, what's NDOW? That's the Division of Wildlife here in this state. And our most important guest this afternoon, Sancho, 4-year-old hunting dog, right?
Yep, he's a 4-year-old wire-haired pointing griffin. He's Sancho, and he's my bird dog.
You know, Logan, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I reached out and asked for you to join our show because you have this really cool class this week. Full disclosure, I just learned that it is already sold out, but Logan is the educator and he's going to talk to us about this class. What pinged me is it was first aid for hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And that's so important because, I mean, I know from my friend's experience, I mean, you can be out hunting and have chain link fence harm your dog, or, you know, God forbid, something like a shooting of some sort. You know what I mean? So there are all different types of injuries that can happen. What do responsible hunters need to know about protecting their animal?
Yeah, so with hunting dogs, especially in Nevada, there's lots of barbed wire out on the landscape, and also very common injury is them throwing their pads from our harsh landscape, any lava rocks that can be rough on their feet, especially early in the year. If you didn't do any preseason work with your dog, their feet are going to be a little tender, whereas later in the season, they're going to be a lot tougher.
Yeah, okay. So what should a hunter, especially if they have a beloved bird dog with them, what should they be carrying with them?
Yeah, so I partner with Paradigm. They're the first aid company in vet doctor, I can't remember her last name, but her name's Claire, and they sell these pre-made kits, which I personally use and love them just because you don't have to build on them too much more. But at the very minimum, you're going to want to be carrying a vet wrap. Get a few different things out here. And it depends on the skill level of your dog and like how trained they are on how much you need to carry with you. But I carry at the very minimum cast padding, vet wrap, and let me find the last thing. At the very minimum, you got your vet wrap, your cast padding, and some sticky tape to be able to wrap your dog's foot or ear to get them back to the vet or back to town if you need to do more serious care with them. I don't know how cooperative he'll be for a vet wrap demonstration today.
Oh, come on, Sancho.
but we
Will
can
you help
see.
us out?
He really hates gauze because I had to wrap his ear once, and ever since then he hated it.
Okay. But this is so important for someone to know because if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you've got to make sure that your dog is, you know, at least taken care of to get you to the veterinarian.
Yeah, that's what the point of this class is. It's not to turn you into a vet. It's to give you what you need to be prepared to get your dog back to town, or if you are able to care for it with the thrown pad, you might not need to go to a vet. So it's hoping to teach people the bare minimums about what to be prepared for, and I'll go over getting your dogs out of traps too, which is a very common thing in Nevada.
I didn't even think of that. Yes,
Yeah.
because there are traps, especially out and about.
Yep. So with the first step is you're going to use your non-stick pad here. It's just a little non-sticky pad, and typically it'll be on the bottom of their pad where they throw. You'll place that there. Then you'll take your cast padding. No, look. Stop it. And
But this is also very typical of what you would see if a dog is injured.
He's going to be licking you. Sancho is a very licky dog. And also, when they're going to be a little bit more tired than what Sancho is right now, just coming out of the truck and hanging out after a weekend. But you're going to take your cast padding, and you don't want to go too tight. You're just going to wrap the toes.
Okay. That looks great.
Yeah, it's coming along.
Now, do you use the entire...
It depends on the severity. I typically won't, especially with how... Get out of here.
Oh, that's nice. It just tears right off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then that little sticky pads right there. Then you'll take your vet wrap, leave it. And with the vet wrap, you can go too tight with it. So you want to be careful not to go too tight.
It's very much like athletic tape that just sticks to itself.
Yeah, so this stuff, it will stick to itself. You can stretch it into squares and rectangles, and you just want to leave it at a square. If you go too, that's how you know you'll cut circulation when you go too tight.
Okay.
Then you'll go right above your cast padding.
Good boy.
And pull and let it go back to a square. And you want to overlap about 50%.
Okay.
Pull that down a little bit. That's fine.
And then beyond that, you use this tape.
Yep, this is what will get it to stick to your dog's paw, and then it's a little ugly down here just because in an awkward position, but I'll do a little strap over the
over the toenails, and then...
And you guys probably won't be able to see it, but you want to be able to see those two little nails, and that way you could tell it's not too tight.
Okay.
They're not folded over the top of each other.
Yep, you see 2 dog toenails.
Yep.
Okay, so this class is sold out this Wednesday, but you're going to be having more of them, and you have a ton of education classes for hunters out there. So where do people go to look at what type of classes you have?
Facebook is where I have Ashley, our social media coordinator. I have her post them all on Facebook.
Perfect. And that Facebook profile name is just NDOW?
I believe it's Nevada Department of Wildlife on Facebook, and Instagram is Nevada Wildlife.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Sancho, you did good, buddy. Yes, you did. What a cute dog. Thank you so much for joining us. And like you said, when the weather comes in, it's going to be a pretty good bird season, huh?
Yep. Got lots of birds on the landscape, and it's only going to get better as we start getting some more weather.
Awesome.
There's a finished ugly pad.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. So excited to be joined this afternoon by Regina Bradley and Phil Doran of Bradley, Drendel, Jeanney. And today we're talking about winter safety, and a lot of people are going to be having those holiday parties. And then I was just asking you about sidewalks because, the neighbor that might not shovel their sidewalk, could be a liability.
That's correct. So in Nevada, as a homeowner, you do have an obligation or a duty to maintain a clean and clear sidewalk. So whether that's snow removal, tree removal, you do need to keep the sidewalk clear. If you don't remove the snow and someone slips and falls and suffers an injury, you may be liable for their injury claim. In addition, if you have a condition on your property that's causing the sidewalk to degrade or abut up, or a road,
a root.
Yes, like a tree root, what we most commonly see, then you would likewise be liable. So it is important to be mindful of maintaining your sidewalk and anything that might be on your property that's causing the sidewalk to erode or to butt up.
And what's interesting about that is my question for you was, isn't the sidewalk a city sidewalk, but the homeowner is still responsible?
Correct. And it makes sense from a policy standpoint for things that are in your control, such as snow removal, tree leaf removal, things that you as the homeowner can control and can maintain and can take care of. You are liable. However, if your sidewalk is simply degrading over time and it's not something that you caused or that was caused by something on your property, then you may not be liable. But I do think it's important to err on the side of caution, and if there's an issue, to contact the city and put them on notice about a degrading sidewalk.
Such a good point. And then when it comes to winter and walking, I mean, obviously the conditions change. So we were just talking about snow and ice, but beyond that, it's darker earlier. And as a pedestrian, you also need to be mindful that you're following the laws as well, right?
That's correct. So pedestrians typically always have the right of way, but as a driver or someone on a bike, you have to be very mindful of pedestrians, whether they're in crosswalks or getting close to the side of the road. And just like cars, bicycles and e-bikes are treated the same way as motor vehicles. So you have to give them the right of way too and yield to them when they're on the road.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point because Dave and I, we were in another city and we were using like a Lime scooter, and you cannot be on the sidewalk in those, correct? You have to be like you are a vehicle in the roadway.
Or the bike lane, if there is one, or as far as you can to the right of the road where it's safe enough where you can give some cars some distance. And for your own safety, a lot of times, especially when it gets dark early, like we go into the fall and winter, you're gonna probably not see that bicycle as well as you probably could in the middle of the summer. So it's very important to stay as far as you can to the right, because obviously vehicles are a lot larger than bikes.
Is it incumbent on the bicyclist or the person on the scooter or the e-bike to make themselves visible?
Yes, so Nevada does require cyclists to install and to have bike lights on at dusk. So once it's dusk and past that, you do need to have lights on your bike or your e-bike or whatever vehicle that you're driving. We are seeing a lot more e-bikes, so it is imperative for those drivers and cyclists to follow the law, to have lights installed, to make sure that vehicles can see them and that they are visible.
So we only have a little bit of time left, but I really do also want to cover the large gatherings that people will have during the holidays. We're talking holiday parties, whether it be Thanksgiving and a whole bunch of people coming, or Christmas, New Year's. You know, a lot of people have these big parties and celebrations. What do homeowners who are hosting these parties need to be aware of?
It's important to be mindful of your guests and to make sure that people are being safe, you know, to encourage Ubers or Lyfts or designated drivers so that no one's getting overserved and potentially driving home intoxicated. And it can be tricky whether you're liable for something like that if someone leaves your house and ends up causing an accident. You know, but it's better to be cautious and make sure that your guests are being safe when they're coming and leaving your home.
And when they come to your house as well, it's really important to keep your entryway clear. And before you have any gatherings, I would check to make sure you have homeowners insurance for anything that may occur on your property.
That's such good advice. You know, even just somebody tripping and twisting an ankle, like what? Obviously, there's the drinking too much component, but just a trip and a fall could result in some sort of issue for a host, right?
Yes, and what we see a lot of is if someone owns a dangerous dog or has a dangerous condition on their property, you very well may be liable as the homeowner. So it's important that if you know that your dog perhaps isn't friendly, it's best to keep that dog crated or away from your guests so that that's not an issue.
Such good advice. Thank you both so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I am so excited to have Jeanney Angus here with Urban Roots. Jeanney, we absolutely love your program. You're the Executive Director of Development for Urban Roots.
Yes.
And I hate to use the word just or only, but admittedly, I thought Urban Roots was only a community farm, and you are so much more than that. Tell us about the programs at Urban Roots.
Yeah, so Urban Roots operates an urban teaching farm. Thanks to our friends over at Renown Health, it's actually their land, and that's where we do most of our programming is on site there. And historically, Urban Roots has been known to provide children's programming. So I'll bump into friends in the community and they're like, oh, you do that camp. And yes, we do camps that coincide with Washoe County School District break, but we also offer a homeschool enrichment program. We have field trips at the urban teaching farm and field trips for all ages, which is really fun. We do a parent-child preschool program, which is very fun. And we do school gardens. And really during the pandemic, the community came to us and said, please expand your reach. And so we listened to them. And in January of 2023, we launched new programming, Dead Plant Society. It's our Gardening 101 series for friends that are convinced that they are doomed with a black thumb. You are not doomed with a black thumb. You can grow things in the high desert, which is amazing. We also launched a cooking workshop series. We started with what's called our Little Chefs. And now we also have the Big Red Kitchen. That's for our adults that want to come and harvest things at the teaching farm and then get their hands dirty in the kitchen, which is super fun. And then we took what was our school garden program and we put it under what's called our Gardening for All. And so now we offer garden builds and a year-long journey with recipients on how to grow things in the high desert. So we build gardens for individuals at their homes, which is really, really beautiful.
That is huge.
Teaching them how to grow their own food is amazing. And then we also do gardens for fellow nonprofits, obviously still our school gardens. We would love to eventually take this to the workplace and have this as an employee wellness incentive. But we're at capacity right now with just those first 3, which is really wonderful. So that's us in a teeny tiny nutshell. We have some really wonderful collaborations with Renown. We partner with them for the food pantry. So our educators go and we work inside the food pantry. We help stock and distribute the food. And once a month, our team is actually doing food demonstrations. So if it smells good, clients are more likely to taste it. If it tastes good, then they're excited and our educators can shop with them and get those foods and incorporate some fresh produce that's either donated from our teaching farm or actually the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. Another really beautiful community partnership I'd love to highlight is our partnership with Hope Springs. So our educators go out to Hope Springs twice a week. Once a week we're doing garden education with them, and then once a week we're actually going in their kitchen and we're cooking a meal together, and it really is this sense of community. So my most favorite part is through these other programs like Gardening for All or our partnerships with Hope Springs and the Food Pantry, these community members also come to Urban Roots events, and so Urban Roots has become this really beautiful food hub and community hub. So it is a teaching farm and we're doing some fun things, but we're just utilizing the garden in a different capacity.
I love it. And we're halfway through our time, so I want to delve a little bit deeper into some of the things that you just mentioned. So first and foremost, the kids' education is awesome. Both my kids did a field trip to Urban Roots and they came home and they were like, oh my gosh, we ate flowers. You know, you can eat flowers. And then thereafter, to hear that you also help go to someone's home and teach them how to create a garden. I think that is such important information when we see the cost of food right now.
Totally.
I want to have a garden.
Yes.
And I am convinced I have one of those black thumbs.
You don't, we can help you.
And to be able to teach, then that just keeps that generational information going.
Absolutely.
And then you had also mentioned to Sophia and me that, you know, when it comes to food pantries, a lot of people were walking by the fresh produce and walking by the vegetables because they didn't know how to cook it or how cool they could taste. And so you have that education component. Talk about that.
Totally. Thanks for bringing that up. So when we first started growing things at the Urban Teaching Farm on 2nd Street, this is our second location, we have, thanks to amazing friends over at Renown, 3 beautiful high tunnels that are professional grade. So we can grow a ton of food. And again, I always want to reiterate, like, we're educators first, farmers and chefs second. And so we used to donate excess produce to multiple food pantries in our area. Right now, we strictly do the 2nd Street Food Pantry. I mean, it's right down the road from us, which is really beautiful. But we did see patient after patient. One morning, we harvested a bunch of Swiss chard and carrots with tops, and we tracked the food. We went to a food pantry, and we saw patient after patient, like, grab their canned food and see, and there's great nutrients in canned food as well, but they would see carrots with tops or this rainbow chard and they had no idea what to do with it. And so it was a gap in education within our community, and that's when we launched our campaign for a teaching kitchen. So we now have a teaching kitchen on site, and it's really bridging that gap of seed to table. So we evaluate all of our programming, and the first summer that we had an actual kitchen on site, the evaluations and testimonials from the parents just were so absolutely amazing. Parents saying, my kids are asking for new fruits and vegetables at school, at the grocery store, and then they would actually ask us for the recipes. So every week when kids come to farm camp, they're getting different recipes. So every single day, kids at farm camp are harvesting the food, they're going in the kitchen, they're making something nutritious and delicious, which is really fun. And it really is it's a matter of empowering individuals. You don't have to know how to do it perfectly, but are you willing to try something a little bit differently? And something I also appreciate about our programming is it is very holistic. Think about a lot of Venn diagrams, a lot of overlapping. So we have a kiddo come out for a field trip and they have so much fun. And then the mom's like, what's this dead plant society? So maybe you come to some of our Gardening 101 workshops and now you're like, all right, I'm applying for Gardening for All. I need you to help me build a garden at my home so we can go and we can build a garden with you at your home.
So
it's
if
just very
somebody
holistic.
at home wants to sign up
Yes.
for any or learn about any of these programs, where do they go? How do they contact you?
urbanrootsnv.org. That's our website. You can learn about all of our programming. We're in the process of updating it right now, but we're very excited. All of our spring programming is already open, so you can already go ahead and register for that as well.
That's good tips. All right, Jeanney, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're watching 2+ U Nevada. When a Harvard research lab lost almost all its funding for medical research, you'll never guess who stepped forward to help fill the void. A first grader. This inspirational story of giving comes from Steve Hartman. So can I admit something to you? Honest to goodness, I didn't know axolotls were real animals. I never heard of them until Zach and Stella talked about them, and even then, I just thought they were some random Minecraft character. It wasn't until I saw Marianne's story today that I learned about my ignorance. So there. She's saving the world through her philanthropy, and she's educating people like me. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Are you a business or nonprofit and want to be featured on 2+ U Nevada? Have a Mom to Mom Monday, a Tried It Tuesday, or even a cute pic you just want to show us? The whole point of 2+ U Nevada is the plus you. You can send us your content by visiting our website. Head to 2news.com and click on 2+ U Nevada. Or you can email us at 2+UNevada@ktvn.com. Each day here at 2+ U Nevada, we are hoping for you to participate in our show. That's the plus you part. With that, today we are continuing our Mom to Mom Mondays. This is really for any family member needing that tidbit of advice. And as you're probably stressing about packing for a road trip or flight to be with family, or as you're preparing to host family for friends this week, you probably have feelings and are feeling the feels, right? Which is why we appreciate today's Mom to Mom from a woman you've seen on our show a few times. Isla is the CEO of the Nevada Women's Fund, and she works tirelessly to uplift the women of Nevada, just in case you needed a little uplifting this afternoon.
In this season of Thanksgiving, my Mom to Mom is a reminder to be thankful for every moment we have with our children. The days can be long, but the years are short. So that phase that's driving you absolutely crazy right now, it's just a phase. It too will pass, and it will become a memory that you will more than likely look back on fondly. So embrace the moments, the good and the bad. See every day, every opportunity as a gift with our children, because being a mother is one of the greatest gifts we've been given.
Especially as we lean into Thanksgiving and holiday feasts. What fantastic advice. And just a heads up for all of you who are addicted to our show, thank you. 2+U Nevada will be preempted by football Thursday and Friday. So get your fill in the next few days. Thank you for inviting us into your home this afternoon. We look forward to joining you most weekdays at 3 for 2+U Nevada. 2 News Nevada at 4 starts now.